Okay, so one sort of video that seemed really popular on YouTube a few years ago, they probably are still fairly popular, were product unboxings. And as an aspiring author, one of the things that has been suggested as a way to market your book, or at least to get some interest, is to do an unboxing video. So, you know what, when the new copy of my first book arrived, I thought, well, okay, I'll do something like that, and we'll see if that can stir up some interest. But of course, you know, when you've been working on a new book for quite some time, the publishing process isn't quick. It takes months and months of hard work to get from your manuscript to a final product, and there's lots of revisions, there's lots of changes to be made, there's lots of suggestions to be looked at, and when you finally get a print copy in hand, it could be months and months after you got started, and that was certainly my experience. I had some free time on my hands because of the COVID-19 lockdowns. I was at home, and I thought, you know what, maybe this is a great opportunity to finally do something about writing that book that I've been wanting to do for a long time. So I went through my collection of everything, and all the writings and things that I had managed to sort of hold on to over the years, and I realized right away that although for many years I thought maybe what I would do would be a novel, and I've started a couple novels, what I found, and it was a surprise to me, was that I had an awful lot of poems that I collected that I had written over 3 decades. And in fact, I had so many poems that I could have just assembled them all into a book right there and then. But I was home, and I had hurt my back, so I was kind of stuck here for a couple of months, and it seemed like a great time to do some more writing. And it's funny what being forced to sort of shelter in place can do to the mind. It can get you thinking, and it can get you imagining things, and it can get you synthesizing ideas from all the experiences you had for years and years and years. And that's what happened, and I wrote a whole bunch of new poems, and within a very short time I had a pretty decent manuscript, I thought. So I went looking for a publisher, and I found a self-publishing organization that could help me. And I went to work, and I had an agreement signed with them in no time, and then got the manuscript into them, and we worked and worked and worked, and over 6 months, almost 6 months, I have now received a printed copy. So when that copy came in the mail, I should have held on to it. I should have not opened that box. I should have waited, and I should have done it in front of the camera. But you know what? The excitement of the moment got the better of me, and I pulled it open and had a look, and I'm kind of glad I did. It was awesome, but it means I can't do a legitimate unboxing with you, but I can do kind of a pseudo unboxing. So this package has been opened before, but I'm going to open it again for you now like it was the first time, although obviously not with the excitement that I felt initially. So let's pull this apart and see what we've got. So my very first book of poetry, my very first published book of any sort. Here it is, Parade of Dreams. This is a collection of poems. Some of them were written this year. Some of them were written 10 years ago. There's even a poem in here that I wrote back around 1985. So it covers a few decades of my life, and I've illustrated it with photographs that I've taken that I thought were appropriate for the particular poems I had in mind. And the front cover design, thanks to my son Adrian, who came up with the idea, incorporates another one of my photos, and very proud of this book, and I think it's going to be a great read, especially if you're interested in in Northern Canadian themes because there's a little bit of that happening here. It's pretty hard to avoid. But I've got poems in here that deal with understanding the world and life, with faith, with love, with loss, with growing old. I cover a lot of different themes, and I use a lot of different poetic forms. In fact, what I did with this book, I don't want to spoil it for you, but it's organized by poetic form. So it's a 10-part book, and I've got a number of different poetic forms illustrated here with the kind of poems that I've written, from villanelles and cinquains to syllabic verse, narrative verse, tankas, acrostics, limericks. Limericks are kind of fun right at the end. And rhymes, free verse. There's a little bit of everything in here. But very excited to have it. I think it looks great. Parade of Dreams by Christopher Wheeler, my very first book. And it's going to be available, hopefully, in stores within the next 2 weeks. This is a pre-release copy. So the final release and the availability, hopefully, we're looking at in about 2 weeks from the usual online sellers and or your local bookshop. Just request it by name. Thanks.